Erling Haaland is arguably the greatest player the Football Manager match engine has ever seen. So today I am becoming Erling Haaland's agent in order to destroy his career. So my job here is going to be that when we look back on Erling Haaland's career, he's not going to have won any league titles. He's not going to win any trophies. And most importantly, we are going to try to prevent him from winning individual awards, things like Golden Boots, Players of the Year, and Ballon d'Ors. And of course, there's going to be some kind of consequence for this challenge. So for every league Golden Boot, Player of the Year, World Player of the Year, or Ballon d'Or that Erling Haaland wins over the course of his entire career, I'm going to have to do 5 push-ups. But in addition to that, for every major trophy that Erling Haaland wins, so that's going to be a league title, a European title, or an important domestic cup competition, I will also have to do 5 push-ups. So I could end up doing a lot of push-ups if Erling Haaland scores a lot of goals, wins a lot of individual titles, and ends up on a really good team. To do this, I do need to set up some rules because I can't just send him anywhere. I can't send him to the depths of the 3rd division of Indian football, which he could still win the league title there. But I want to make this fair and a little bit more difficult. So we are implementing 3 rules for how I have to act as Erling Haaland's agent. First, I have to move him to a team that is at least a 4.5-star club reputation. So I can't send him to some random league with some random team where he has absolutely no chance of winning. He has to go to at least a 4.5-star rep team. That way he still has the chance to be successful. Next, I have to move him at least 3 times during his career. So I can't just move him to one team and keep him there forever. If, for example, he's doing very poorly there, I've got to move him at least 3 times. That way he has chances to be successful on multiple teams. And finally, when I move him, I have to keep him there for at least 2 seasons. So if he's doing really good there, I can't just move him right away. I have to give him at least 2 seasons to build up some success. Those are the rules. Those are the consequences. Let's get into things. So we have the option here to move Erling Haaland for his first move to any of these 4.5-star reputation clubs. So all the way from Napoli, and he's currently at Man City, of course. So where do we want to move him to? I think we can automatically rule out things like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern, and PSG. That's going to be way too many league titles. We don't want that. He could also push Liverpool over the edge. I don't think we want to move him to Italy because I think he would really dominate in Italy. I don't think there's any outstanding goal scorers that might prevent him from winning the Golden Boot. Man United might be a good shout, but Man United's pretty OP in Football Manager, so I'm going to move away from that. We could send him to Porto. I don't think he'd have a chance to win the Golden... no, he'd probably have the chance to win the Golden Boot, actually. He wouldn't really have the chance to be good in Europe. But looking through here, I think there is one obvious team to send him to. And the first place we are sending Erling Haaland to is Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid is a really good first place to send him for quite a few reasons. First, Diego Simeone, especially in Football Manager, is a pretty defensive head coach, and he prefers a 5-at-the-back formation, which generally doesn't do super well in Football Manager. And if we look at Atletico Madrid's tactics here, it's a very defensive tactic that is going to leave him relatively isolated up top. And there is a precedent here. We do have Julian Alvarez at Atletico Madrid, so he'll be partnering his former teammate up top. But I think it's just going to be difficult for him to score a lot of goals given how Atletico Madrid's style of play is. But, and perhaps more importantly, at least in game, Real Madrid are outstanding. I don't see them winning La Liga anytime soon because of Real Madrid. And as far as for goal scoring stats are concerned, like Real Madrid has some phenomenal goal scorers, but I think the most important one is going to be Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe always does amazing from what I've seen for Real Madrid in Football Manager. I expect Mbappe to get a lot of goals, and this is going to give Erling Haaland a lot more competition for the Golden Boot. So in theory here, moving Haaland to Atletico Madrid should limit his goal scoring output, and it should make it really difficult for him to win Golden Boots, Players of the Year, and league titles. So hopefully this will ruin his career. And all right, we have moved 1 year into the future. How did Haaland do on his first season at Atletico Madrid? Let's start off just looking at his career stats. 20 goals, man. He still scored 20 goals. That is an outstanding total. Only 28 appearances, though, so that bodes well. Let's look at the first division here. And he did not get the top goal scorer award. That goes to Vinicius Jr. So we don't have a Golden Boot. And Atletico Madrid finished third. So Erling Haaland doesn't get anything, I don't believe, in his first year. Let's look at their schedule. They got knocked out in the Champions League semifinal, so nothing there. Spanish Cup semifinal, second leg. They got knocked out there, so I don't believe. And they didn't win the Super Cup. I don't think the Super Cup is considered a major trophy, so we wouldn't have counted that anyways. But Erling Haaland gets absolutely nothing in his first season. So this is a great move. I think we're going to keep Erling Haaland here for a while. We do have to make at least 2 more moves. So we moved him once. We have to move at least 3 times in his career. But I think we're going to keep him here for the bulk of his career. And we need to keep him at least 2 seasons. So maybe once he turns late 20s, I think that's where we'll start looking at moving him. But we're going to keep Haaland here for now. I'm going to sim forward until it's time to move on Erling Haaland. But this is a good spot. All right, I've kept Erling Haaland at Atletico Madrid until 30 years old. But if we're going to make this challenge work, we do need to move him. But he's still so good, and generally Erling Haaland has a pretty long career in Football Manager, so I wasn't too worried about keeping him at Atletico Madrid for a while. But he's 30 years old now. You know, he's going to be, if we move him and then we move him after 2 seasons, he'll be 34. So we do need to make sure we move him along. I think this is going to be a good place to do that. But how has he done at Atletico Madrid? In truth, he's been very, very, very good. 20 goals is where we saw him before, but then 22, 24, 25, 26 goals. He's fallen off a bit in the last 2 seasons, but Erling Haaland has been absolutely brilliant. But of course, did he win any awards? Let's start off with the Spanish League Player of the Year, where Erling Haaland never won it. That is absolutely brilliant. Did he ever win a top goal scorer award? He did. Oh, he did it 3 times. Well, that is going to be 5 times 3. That's going to be 15 push-ups. He did win 3 Spanish top goal scorer awards, but I think we limited his number, right? Vinny won 2 of them, Mbappe, and Julian Alvarez won it. He actually won it ahead of Erling Haaland. That's super interesting. We can see here Haaland finishing second, and in here he finished third. So fortunately, he did have enough competition to where he didn't win a ton of top goal scorer awards. So as far as being his agent is concerned, I think we've done a good job here. Erling Haaland only winning 3 top goal scorer awards and not winning a Player of the Year. That's a pretty good start. And of course, the next step will be, did Atletico Madrid ever win a league title? Looking through here, it's been all Real Madrid. They've never done it. He's never, I mean, how would you look? Erling Haaland's 30 years old and hasn't won a league title yet. This is exactly what we're looking for. But all right, let's just click on Haaland now. Did they win any other titles? So if we we'll look at his biography, I think. So he joined City, now he's at Atletico Madrid. Haaland has so far, he did lift the Spanish Cup, and they lifted the Club World Championship. You know what? For the purposes of this challenge, I will call that a major trophy. So he's got 2 major trophies and 3 golden boots. So far, 25 push-ups. But all right, that all being said, we are now at 25 push-ups. I think we've done a good job so far at making sure that Erling Haaland hasn't done too much in his career. I mean, imagine Erling Haaland, no league titles, no Champions Leagues. He's at 30 years old. I mean, he won his ones with City, but nothing else to show for it at this point in his career. I think that would be really sad for him. So I think we're doing a good job of ruining his career, but now we're going to need to move him to at least a 4.5-star rep team. Let's see where we go. And I have decided to move Erling Haaland back to Borussia Dortmund. Also, as a note, because Dortmund weren't before, they are currently a 4.5 star rep team. But I think this move in world would also make a bit of sense. Haaland moving back to his former club where he played and had a lot of success with. So I think there is a precedent as his agent to be moving him back to Dortmund. But I think this is a great place to move him because Bayern are still absolutely dominant in the Bundesliga. So hopefully this will limit his opportunities to win DFB Pokals and Bundesliga titles. The only thing about moving him here though is he will be playing in a now 4-2-3-1 formation, so that is going to be a little bit more attacking. He is going to have the opportunity to win Bundesliga top goal scorer awards and potentially German Player of the Year awards, but we'll see how he does. Hopefully it won't be too much. I do think by moving him to Dortmund, we're going to do a good job of stifling potentially his league titles and team trophies, major trophy honors, things like that. We'll see how it does for individual honors. But we have to keep him here for at least 2 seasons. So let's move forward. We'll move forward 1 season to see how he does in his first season, and then we'll move until it's time to move him on from there. So let's move 1 season in the future. And in his first season at Dortmund, Erling Haaland only scored 15 goals. I think that bodes pretty well for us as far as how last season went. So let's look at the award winners. He was German's Player of the Year. He was 3rd, but Valentin Carboni winning it for it looks like Bayern. But top goal scorer was Endrick. And actually, he was pretty close to being top goal scorer. That's a little worrying because he could win a German top scorer award. It doesn't seem like there's anyone who's running away with that. But Endrick winning it, so we've prevented Haaland from winning an individual award there. How did Dortmund do in the league? We'll look at that, but let's look at cup competitions. Oh, they were in the Europa League. I did not know they were in the Europa League. Wow, they got knocked out by Liverpool. That could have been bad because that would have been a potential trophy for Erling Haaland. But I don't see them winning the European competition, which is really good. And they were knocked out in the DFB Pokal first round. There's no way they've won the league. And the league title holders are Bayern. How'd they do last season? We have absolutely cooked by sending him to Dortmund. This is brilliant. Well, we're definitely going to keep Erling Haaland here for at least a few more seasons. This is definitely the place to be. Absolutely brilliant stuff so far. I will see you when we move Erling Haaland on for our final move of this challenge. All right, Erling Haaland, now 33 years old. We have kept him at Dortmund for 3 seasons, and in that time, he's been just kind of okay. We do need to make sure at 33, we are going to need to make sure we move him on so he gets at least 2 seasons for the final move. So we got to make that move now. But how have we done? Well, in his time at Dortmund, Erling Haaland has won no Player of the Year awards. And for top goal scorer awards, he did win in this previous season. So we have 1 Bundesliga top goal scorer award. But so far, that's all we've got. But unfortunately, looking at the milestones, this was his best season. They did win the DFB Pokal. But so far, at Dortmund, 1 DFB Pokal, 1 top goal scorer award. And that's what happened over the course of 3 seasons. We will definitely take that. So that does up us up to 35 total push-ups. But we are coming to the end of Erling Haaland's career as his agent. And per the rules, I need to engineer 1 more transfer. And our final move for Erling Haaland, 33-year-old Erling Haaland, as we are bringing him back to the Premier League with Chelsea. So I've decided to go with Chelsea here because in the past few seasons, they won the league in 2025-26, but they haven't even been in the top 3 for a long time. So I think that bodes well for us as far as him potentially not winning any league titles is concerned. Also, just in case you were wondering, yes, Chelsea are a 4.5-star reputation side. The other reason I've decided to move Erling Haaland to Chelsea is because they currently play this 4-5-1 formation, which could limit Erling Haaland's starting opportunities. Since he's now 33 years old and they only play with 1 forward, that could limit his opportunities. Maybe he won't be able to play as many games. It could limit golden boot opportunities and things like that. And season preview wise, like Chelsea aren't the best team. They are in the Europa League. That could be an opportunity for Erling Haaland to win some trophies, but I don't know. I don't see them doing super well maybe in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup just based on the season preview here. There's a lot of competition with Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and apparently Tottenham being really good in this world. So I think this is a difficult league to play with. 33 years old. He should start declining now. So hopefully, I mean, he's still, I mean, just looking at him, he's still a phenomenal player. If I was actually his agent, I would just love having a player this good to be able to, like, hey, make me some money. Let's engineer some moves and get a high agent fee. But all things considered, I think we're in a really good position here. Erling Haaland, this is the final move. We're going to keep him here until the game either sends him somewhere else or until he retires. So let's move forward one season. How is Erling Haaland going to do at Chelsea? All right, we are moved 1 year into the future, and Erling Haaland is wanted by a ton of clubs in Saudi Arabia. We need to keep him here at least one more season, so we won't let that move happen just yet. But looking at his career stats, 18 goals last season. Was that enough to win a golden boot? So let's check out here. Let's check out player of the year first. It was Bukayo Saka. So nothing there. Top goal scorer was Josu Casono, and it was not Erling Haaland. Let's go. Oh, he nearly got it too. He was one assist away from winning the golden boot, but three players tied with 18 goals. Let's go. But the real question is, did Chelsea win anything? They lost in the Europa League final. Let's go. This challenge is doing so well. They lost in the FA Cup quarterfinal. How did they do in the Carabao Cup? I don't even see it in here. They lost in the fourth round to City. We have the Community Shield is not a major trophy, so we are good there. Let's go. And Chelsea finished fourth last season, so they're in the Champions League. So they won't have the Europa League again. I think we're in a great spot here. Let's go. We're going to keep Erling Haaland here until his career ends. I think we've engineered some great moves. Let's move forward to the end of this challenge, and we will do a recap. All right, at 36 years old, welcome to Erling Haaland's final season. He will be moving to Saudi Arabia, so we are going to end the challenge here. You can see we did have enough time here. 13 goals and 9 goals. That will not have been enough to win a top goal scorer award or a player of the year. So we are all good there. Our only question is, did Chelsea win the league? They did not. So the last question will be, did they win any cup competitions? We will just go straight to Erling Haaland and we will look at his milestones. They did win the Carabao Cup. Man, that's the only thing about moving him to England was he gets 2 domestic cup trophies. So he did win the Carabao Cup, and that will be another 5 push-ups. I gotta say, I think we've done a great job of ruining Erling Haaland's career. He wasn't super successful. He didn't win a whole lot of golden boots. And he didn't win a whole lot of trophies. I don't think he won one league title over the course of his career after leaving Man City. He only won a few golden boots. And otherwise, he didn't win much else. He won a few cup competitions. I think that we have successfully ruined Erling Haaland's career. But all right, let's conclude everything here. Looking over the course of his entire career, as far as the medals that he won during the course of this challenge, he won 1 Carabao Cup, he won the Spanish Cup, he won the DFB Pokal, and he won the Club World Championship. That was probably the biggest trophy that he won. But in total, he won 4 major trophies over the span of his career where we were his agent. And finally here, we are going to conclude with his individual achievements that he would have won here. So looking through, German Player of the Year, runner-up. He did win the Bundesliga top goal scorer once, so we will give that one to him there. He did not win the Ballon d'Or. He was the Spanish first division top goal scorer on 3 occasions, so we do have 4 golden boots there. And that is it. So 4 golden boots, 4 trophies. So that is going to be 40 push-ups. But all right, that is the conclusion to this challenge. We became Erling Haaland's agent in order to ruin his career. How do you guys think we did? I think we did pretty well here. I think we engineered some really good moves. I don't think he was very successful, at least for a superstar like Erling Haaland. I think he would want to have had a better career. So I think we did a really good job of preventing him from winning golden boots and preventing him from winning domestic trophies. So overall, I think we did a really good job here. I'm going to do 40 push-ups and I will end the video with that. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you all are doing well and taking care of yourselves. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.